The right-wing French presidential candidate, Francois Fillon, is under pressure to explain the role of his British wife in his political campaign. Penelope Fillon was allegedly paid more than €500,000 in 8 years out of parliamentary funds. Now, the newspaper that made the claims also says that there's no evidence of Fillon's work to be found. Well, TRT World's Myriam Francois joins us now live from London with more. Hi, Myriam. It first must be said that Francois Fillon himself calls these allegations outrageous. First, though, tell us more about what exactly she's accused of.
So the French public prosecutor has opened an investigation into an alleged misuse of public funds by Penelope Fillon when at a time where allegedly she was working as a parliamentary assistant to her husband, Francois Fillon, between 1998 and 2012, when she was paid a salary which totaled around €500,000. Now, the issue for Francois Fillon and his wife is that there doesn't appear to be evidence of that work, and certainly that is what is being alleged by a leading French newspaper which brought these allegations to light. Now, there are conflicting voices, it should be said, on this issue. Some fellow MPs have come out and said they certainly did see her around, but his biographer came out and said that during the time that she worked on his biography, she always got a sense of Penelope as being very much a full-time homemaker. And certainly Francois Fillon is a very traditional candidate on the right. He's always played up the fact that he is a more conservative Catholic candidate, and there was always a sense that his wife hadn't played a very active role in his political career up until now. So, of course, the issue is whether or not there have been any misuse of public funds. It is worth saying that it is not illegal in France for French MPs to hire family members, that are around 10 to 15% of parliamentarians do actually employ somebody with the same surname as them, according to a report a few years ago. But the issue, of course, will be whether the role that she had, and of course it does appear to be quite a large salary for an MP's assistant in any case, was a role that she was actually undertaking during that period.
It is interesting that technically nepotism is not illegal in France, important to note that, and it can actually be seen as rather common, but still, will these allegations hurt Francois Fillon's chances now of becoming president, especially while he is technically well ahead in the polls?
Yeah, well, his popularity has actually dropped in the last month quite dramatically, around 7 points, according to a recent poll. And that's more to do with his position on social security and concerns among older voters and women in particular about the implications of that for them. He's polling at around 25 to 28%, which it's worth pointing out isn't a huge lead on the second candidate, which is Marine Le Pen from the National Front, who's polling around 20 to 24%. So that is not a significant lead, and many elements have come into this presidential race to disrupt it along the way. It's been very hard so far to predict who would come through. And certainly these allegations will be damaging whatever the outcome, not least because Francois Fillon has really presented himself as the squeaky clean candidate who's come along to clear up the image of the right, which the right in France has been, well, not only the right, it's worth pointing out, there have been many scandals of corruption in French politics over the last few years, but it is worth saying that even when they've occurred in the early years of many of these political candidates' lives, they haven't always led to their demise. We can think of François Mitterrand, Jacques Chirac, and many others who, despite corruption allegations and sometimes convictions, went on to illustrious careers.
Absolutely. Okay, Myriam Francois, thanks so much for that from London.